Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about my experience with the VFC Umarex H&K VP9 version 2. The version 1 came out, I believe, in 2016, and it was a crackling pile of shit. It didn't work, it wasn't accurate, and many people had issues with it. And in an attempt to fix some of these issues, VFC decided to redesign the internals a little bit. To some extent, these efforts were fruitful, but they have not fixed the biggest issue that this gun has. But, you know, usually airsoft reviews go like this. Someone takes it out of the box, brand new. They put a fresh mag of gas in it. It's warm and nice, and obviously it fires, and fires good because it's warm. They test the accuracy maybe at like 10 meters, I don't know, and then they tell you the gun is good, but they don't go into the issues that this gun might have. You know, they have no idea what they're talking about, and they tell possibly new airsoft players that the gun is good. And these people are then left to find out for themselves that they didn't actually buy a well-working gun. So I wanted to go in-depth on the version 2. People have already gone in-depth on the version 1, but yeah. I assume you've already done your research on the VP9 and know all about the controls and externals, so I'll only go over those briefly. You have ambidextrous controls, like the slide stop. The mag release is a pedal design, but it's ambidextrous. You have a cocking indicator. When the gun is cocked, there's a little red dot. Once I pull the trigger, it disappears. Trigger safety, sort of like on the Glocks. Takedown lever is only on the left side, but whatever. Front and back serrations, plus these plastic wings that are supposed to help with racking the gun on the real steel one, but in airsoft it doesn't really matter because you can rack the gun anywhere on the slide with 2 fingers. Standard 3-dot sights, absolutely nothing special. Swappable back straps and side panels, sizes S, M, and L actually come in the box, which is pretty nice. Other than that, nothing special. Now, let's talk about the accuracy. The version 1 had huge issues with accuracy because the inner barrel was actually sort of canted downwards out of the box by design, and that led to piss poor accuracy. They fixed it on this model, on the version 2. I have achieved great results with this gun at 20 to 25 meters with 0.25 gram BBs. The hop's good. It will be absolutely suitable for the distances you use. You usually use a pistol at in an airsoft game. The gas efficiency, however, is fucking terrible. That was already an issue on the version 1, and I will explain why that is once I take this gun apart. It is absolutely not gas efficient. It doesn't work in the cold. You can absolutely forget about it, and there's very little you can do to fix this. I've had several breakages on this gun already. I've fixed it, I believe, like 3 times already. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, whatever. I'll just show you the internals and then what broke. Okay, so first let's look at the frame, because there's the least to see really. The fire control unit is almost entirely made from steel. The The hammer, valve knocker, sear, and valve knocker lock are all made from steel. The housing, however, is some kind of cast zinc aluminum alloy. So are the front rails, takedown lever and stuff. That's all cast. Slide catch and trigger bar are also steel. The only issue that the frame has is a hammer spring that's too strong. That's also a big issue on the Glocks and the P320s that they make for SIG Air. It's too strong for gas. It's a hammer spring you'd normally use for CO2 mags, but this gun doesn't have CO2 mags. Yeah, I swapped that with an AMG winter hammer spring, which sort of makes it run better on gas, but still not great, because the actual big issue lies in the blowback unit. You see, there's honestly not really a blowback unit to begin with. All you have is a plastic piston base, this cocking plate for the hammer, and this steel rail on the side for the valve knocker disconnector. There's nothing to really see there, except that the plate that cocks your hammer is spring-loaded. So when it goes back, it will cock your hammer normally, and when it comes forward, this will pivot out of the way, and it's spring-loaded. Then you have the little cocking indicator there, which is also spring-loaded. I can see that. And the first issue that I've had was that the spring of the cocking indicator would dislodge when I fired it, and it would just get hung up. The cocking indicator would flop around, and I'd have to put it back in place. Bullshit issue. I've had to re-bend the spring a little bit to fix it, but yeah, that fixed the issue. Next thing that broke is the spring of this cocking plate, and I was honestly pretty mad at that point, because I had only had this gun for 1 month maybe. No, actually that was when I had it for 2 weeks. That's when the cocking plate spring broke. Yeah. I remember I called the store, and yeah, after that call I decided not to send this to Umarex for fixing, because Umarex is super slow and I honestly would rather do the job myself. So I went on to ProAct. I couldn't find this part or this little spring by itself, which looks like this, by the way. This is the broken one. This is missing one of its legs. So I just decided to order a new blowback unit from ProAct, and that is what's in here now. This is the old blowback unit. I already removed the cocking indicator, but yeah, you see this plate would just flop around like this, and it wouldn't work properly. And this leads us to the next big issue that leads to the poor gas efficiency, which is the nozzle. The nozzle is shaped like this, odd shape, but that's not the issue. The issue is actually the piston head, or both the nozzle and the piston head. You see, when I put this in, see how much wiggle room that has? You probably can't, but maybe if I turn the flashlight, no. Anyways, the point is the nozzle is not sealing well against the piston head. And that leads to the poor gas efficiency. That's due to a bad design of the nozzle. The draft angles for casting the nozzle are too steep. Either that, or the piston head is just too small. But in the front, it doesn't seem to wobble as much, so it's probably the draft angles of the nozzle. That was not my discovery. Spartan Engineering on the HRC Discord actually pointed this out. So the bad gas efficiency is a combination of the strong hammer spring and the poor seal of the nozzle against the piston head. Yeah, that is one thing. This one, as you will notice, has 2 nozzle springs. The version 1 originally had only 1 nozzle spring on the, I don't know if it was the right side or left side, I believe left side. And they are held in place with these little paper clip looking things. I don't know why they did that. Why not make this spring longer and have it attached here? Just seems like an unnecessary design. Rocket valve in there is just held by this screw on the top. You can see it there. It's a weird design, but it hasn't caused any issues. So those are the issues with the blowback unit. Now, the issues I've had with the outer barrel, which has also broken at one point. This is the replacement. The VP9 I have here actually used to be a VP9 Tactical with a threaded outer barrel. You can see this has the absolutely fucking ugly German markings. These in no way replicate the markings of the real steel one, and this is more like it. But yeah, this outer barrel broke right here. I don't know if you can, there. See that crack? Yeah. And also this top part here, you can see it better from the other side. This is supposed to be straight with the top of the chamber, but it's not. That is because I believe, I mean, this has a threaded barrel, so I wanted to attach a suppressor for once. I know it would have looked ugly, but I wanted to try it anyways, just for fun. I attached this. This is an OSK Big Dragon suppressor. And I believe it pressed this part against the top of the slide on the inside because the heavy suppressor was applying force downwards. So that's the reason I believe that this was bent. And because the slide then hit it in a different way than it was supposed to when the slide was going back into battery, I believe that's what caused this crack. I'm not sure though. It's a fucking, it's just a shit design. Like, why the fuck would you make this so thin? It's just bullshit. Luckily, this issue has not occurred on the new outer barrel. The hop chamber takes normal gas blowback spec buckings and inner barrels. And it's hooked up to the outer barrel with this little spring. So be careful when you want to disassemble this, unhook that spring first, or you're gonna destroy it. Yeah, recoil spring guide rod, nothing special. Those are the issues I've had with it. To summarize them, bad performance in the cold, even though I have swapped to an AMG winter hammer spring. Breaking outer barrels and breaking and dislodging springs in the blowback unit. So who is this gun even for? I would say it is for people who play in very, very hot climates, or just plinkers. But if you're like in Europe and it gets cold during the winter, you cannot use this gun. You have to get something else, like, I don't know, a TM High Kappa DOR, which is just a great gun for winter and summer all around. and it's for people who maybe like to tinker with their guns. If you're new to airsoft and just want to take this out of the box and go to a game with it, don't get this. Do not get this. You're gonna have a bad time. Ask around. People who actually know what they're doing will probably recommend something like Marui High Kappa DOR, a VFC Glock maybe, but definitely not this. That concludes the review. Oh, I actually forgot to dry fire it. But yeah, the kick at room temperature is nice. It does feel nice when it's warm, but yeah, that's my take on the VP9 version 2, and yeah.